Warning. The following video contains stupidly excess amounts of slightly slurred words from a man who is clearly sleep-deprived, potentially delusional, and forgetting what the hell he was doing 6 weeks ago. Pero todavía te da un corazón lleno de amor.
Oh, that's intense. Ooh, yeah.
Hi, hello again guys. Completely sorry about the hold up with this video. I unfortunately came down with like literally 3 sicknesses within 2 months, and it's been a very harsh month for me to catch up on stuff. I've just been mainly trying to prioritize studying over anything, and unfortunately the YouTube videos that I have wanted to create fell behind a little bit. But regardless, I definitely wanted to get out this video out to you guys. Don't think that I was just holding it off and I gave up on this thing. I have fun doing this. But anyways, I'm gonna talk to you once again, continue off of MedFIT week 1, and this week we're gonna talk about MedFIT week 2. Please enjoy. So talking about Monday, please forgive me guys, I'm really tired right now. I had like such a rough week. As far as Monday goes, we once again visited back to the reflective writing that I talked about in my previous video before. I have like the reflective writing that I actually pulled up right now because I think it's gonna do more justice just to read from it instead of recalling it, since once again it's 6 weeks out, so allow me to read it to you guys. So the question that they wanted to present was, are we going to be working on the cadaver or are we going to be working with the cadaver? And that was a tough question to just immediately answer first, so I had to think about that, but this was my response to that. The cadavers themselves are wonders to look at and are part of the reason why I'm impatiently waiting to begin my medical school journey. Crazy, I know. When thinking about whether I'll be working on the cadaver or with the cadaver, 2 aspects come to mind. One implies that I'll be working on the cadaver in the sense that I am working with the physical specimen that will teach me the intricate network of the human body. The other implies that I am working with the cadaver in the sense that I have a spiritual tie with whoever the previous owner of the body was. As a student preparing to be a physician, I feel it's my duty to ensure I use the knowledge I obtained to ultimately help out the population of mankind seeking to combat and cure the many illnesses that have plagued our society. That was deep, wow. Working with it was my ultimate answer. When we went into the anatomy lab, it was definitely just like an awe moment for me, and that's all I can really say about it. We had our PAC mentors once again kind of just do demonstrations as far as showing the anatomy of it, because we actually had like a little anatomy practical. Once again, they're preparing us, for just preparing us for med school. The anatomy lab is gonna be happening here pretty soon, which actually gonna have my first anatomy lab here pretty soon. They did a really good job demonstrating it. They definitely piqued my interest. I was just sitting there like, man, I cannot wait to start on this. But going over that topic specifically, once again, which was, are we going to be working on the cadaver or with the cadaver? I feel like was really good as far as, sparking the humanistic side of medicine. I felt it was a very great question to reflect upon. And I remember when we talked about that during class on Monday, there was definitely a lot of talk about it. And there were definitely some very sincere remarks that I felt were very special to not only the person who was saying that, but to everybody else as well. Everybody was kind of on the same page. I enjoyed that reflective question. Okay, so looking at the next thing, we have, there's like an IRAP. This one I feel like was trying to see what underlying biases were with physicians and students perhaps, but it was like this 1 hour long kind of assignment that we had to do where you have your finger on one button of the keyboard and your finger on another, and the thing that you're supposed to do is the center screen will simply say a response that says something like, oh, I do not like bumblebees or something like that. But before you do that, it says that, okay, you have this personality that if it says, I do not like bumblebees, you have to be able to press yes or no. And you have to press it corresponding to what they told you to behave like before. It's kind of confusing, but I really feel like they were trying to see if how we think. And one of the things was also saying oh, I am very incompetent, and then you're supposed to put yes or no. I honestly can't fully remember, but I think it was trying to go along those guidelines. I could be completely wrong. And then after that, it was just a whole bunch of other lectures presenting specific aspects of the school. Once again, we had, it looks like a presentation about the health center. So of course, once again, that's an important thing that I loved about UNR. They really care about the health of the students. And then there was a lunch hosted by Washoe County Health, which is just one of the student interest groups. There's a whole bunch of them in the medical so you can participate in. I specifically want to do psychiatry, but maybe if somebody else jumps on in another episode, they can possibly talk about the other student interest groups, otherwise known as SIGs. And then we also had the talk. I remember specifically talking about that. And just talking about remediation itself. One of our staff members had to go ahead and talk about, once again, the remediation and kind of the consequences of that, what happens if we don't do good in one of our blocks or 2 blocks. Essentially, what I definitely remember is we have 5 blocks within the year, and in order to pass the year, for the first year, of course you have to pass all blocks, okay? But if you fail one of the blocks, just one of the blocks, you have the opportunity to go ahead and retake that during the summer, from what I understood. Once again, could be wrong about that. Essentially, just I know it sounds like very crude, but checking for competence, because at the end of the day, we have to be making sure that we learn the knowledge required of a physician for the first 2 years. If you fail 2 blocks, then you unfortunately fail the entire year, but you have the opportunity to take it again. They kind of just talked about that, but the thing that kind of made me really comfortable was that they had the talk because they wanted to go ahead and give us the idea that they are going to be watching us, and not necessarily in a scary way, but watching us in the sense that they care about our progress through medical school and making sure that we're keeping up with what we need to be keeping up with. They're definitely going to be, cracking down the whip, if you want to call it that, to make sure that we're doing good with our exams or any other assessments that we may be doing. I'll talk about other days, other lectures and stuff too as well. We talked about the student outreach clinic, so that's one of the also unique aspects of UNR as well, which is what I really appreciated. Essentially, the student outreach clinic is like a family clinic, more than anything, for primary care that the UNR students will go to go ahead and practice on real patients. This isn't just something that's like completely standardized. The cool thing is it definitely serves the underprivileged population, so those that don't have insurance or a good means of insurance, if you want to call it that. They can go to that clinic with the notion that there are going to be medical students at UNR that will go ahead and work with them. And the aspect that I really like about it as well is that as a first year, within like the first 2 weeks, I can already go ahead and work with patients and get a grasp of what that patient-physician interaction is like. And other thing is too, is you get to interact with like 4th year, 3rd year, and 2nd year medical students who are gonna help you through that process in case you have any questions. After you go ahead and do your interaction with the patient, you get to go ahead and talk with the doctor about essentially what you found, and you guys discuss about it. And honestly, it's a really cool learning experience. It's a unique learning experience that I really appreciate, because I feel like I need that. And then yeah, that was pretty much it for Monday. We actually had the exam that we had for MedFIT on Tuesday. So over the weekend and on Monday as well, we were essentially just preparing for that exam with all of the lecture material that they were teaching us. So all of like the lecture material that I was talking about last week, as well as on Monday, including information about the student outreach clinic, I believe, which is labeled SOC, by the way, as well as the talk that we had about sexual harassment on Monday as well, the health center and all those kinds of things. We were going to get quizzed or have an exam on that essentially. Good thing about taking that, in my eyes, was that it was a good assessment of our study habits. In that sense, basically, the goal, of course, is to get a 75% or higher, because as we talked about in remediation, 75% or higher is the goal that we want to attain to make sure that we're competent with the material that we're learning. If you got below a 75%, then that kind of was a little bit of an alert to yourself to say, hey, okay, perhaps your study habits that you're implementing at that moment aren't working, and we should consider changing them. Luckily, I did well, so the study habits that I continued on from undergraduate, they're still working. It was good to go. Then, of course, on Tuesday, once again, after we were done taking our exam, we did this reflection workshop number 3 for the writing piece that I was talking about. The writing piece that we went ahead and reflected that time was what was going to be the biggest challenge for us during medical school. I'm not sure if my thoughts have changed now, but once again, I'm gonna reach back to my writing to make sure I remember what I said. It looks like what I said during the time was that the only challenge I anticipate facing during medical school is ensuring I resist the temptation to compare my own work and intelligence to those of my classmates. There seems to be this reoccurring theme with first-year students, even beyond that. that comparisons to each other is something that frequently happens and unfortunately causes stress that is not needed at all. And I will say that is definitely truth right now. I feel like I have caught myself a couple of times. It's nothing drastic at all, to where I'm kind of measuring my competence and my intelligence and my ability to keep up with the work and the learning and understanding of it all with my other classmates. Where that comes from, I don't necessarily know. Possibly because I just grew up in a competitive environment. Undergraduate is kind of like that, you know, even getting to medical school itself. At the reality of it, it is a competition. That drive to go ahead and I want to say beat everybody, but that's like the easiest words I can come up with right now. It's there. As it is happening now with the 6 week I've been in medical school now, I will definitely say what I said during MedFIT is definitely a perfect fit. That's probably one of the most crucial or most concerning problems that I have right now. It's totally under handle now. And the thing is at the end of the day, I'm always just, you know, praying at night that I strive to be the best that I can be, admitting that I have weaknesses of my own, but as long as I'm continuously improving every single day, that's all that really matters, and that's what's gonna make me, you know, joyous and at peace in medical school. And just to say that one thing about me that I definitely want to have for myself is that I'm ultimately remembering that I'm always testing my own boundaries and limits, and that I need to strive to go ahead and surpass those every single day. You know, that's the drive that I believe, you know, my dad has kind of instilled within me, as well as the rest of my family, as well as, you know, the Air Force as well. Thank God for ROTC, because those guys definitely pushed me to be the best that I can be, and I want to continue those practices into medical school so that I can be an astounding physician. 11:15 a.m. we had lunch with the dean. I definitely do not remember the details with that because I'm super tired once again, like I said before. So that wrapped up Tuesday, and then essentially on Tuesday and Wednesday, after we wrapped up with the dean with the lunch, there was one group that was assigned to do CPR for the rest of the afternoon Tuesday. I was not part of that group. Instead, on Wednesday, which was solely a CPR day for group 2, I went ahead and did my CPR certification. I was like 5 hours long or something like that. Honestly, I was pretty tired. And like, you know, some mood inside of me basically wanted to just stay in and sleep and relax all day, but you have to complete the CPR certification, of course. I did that, actually had a little bit of fun with it, and learned something useful, of course. Thursday was definitely more of a break day, but the reflection assignment that I talked about, which was number 3, you know, what challenges are we going to be facing in medical school, was due that day. And then we went to the hospital that's locally over here to go ahead and have like a tour as well as a reception. We went ahead and had a dinner all together with staff and students, and got some time to go ahead and interact with the faculty, which is nice. Me specifically, actually, I was able to meet one of the people that was in charge of research over here and got to learn a little bit more about that. As far as me doing research, I don't necessarily know if I am going to do research. There was one specific kind of research, I can't remember. It doesn't take too much work, but that could look potentially good on a resume or CV. My main thing with medical school, definitely want to work on this channel, get it involved more with any psychiatry SIGs if any of those are there, and then the SOC as well. Those probably were definitely my 3 main targets that I am going to strive to work on. And then the big day, which I do remember, that was a huge moment of driving emotion, if you want to call it that. I'm so tired right now, guys, that I can't remember it completely and fully, but starting at 8:30 a.m., all of the families got to go ahead and come over on Friday, which was really nice. I mean, the day has come that we're gonna go ahead and finally put on the white coats. That was just, that was very a serene moment for me. Yeah, we went out and sat out in a tent. We had, you know, speech by the dean, speech by the second year president as well, the director of the student outreach clinic, that sort of thing, and just got to enjoy time together with family before, you know, we embark upon this journey of medical school. So we went ahead and had that until like 10:30. We were able to have the family go ahead and kind of tour around to see, you know, what the medical students are going to be experiencing during medical school, that sort of thing. So, you know, I showed my mom and my brother who came, just like the lecture hall. They went ahead and went to this talk that actually was specifically for family members or, you know, loved ones of the students in medical school about what they're going to be experiencing. kind of what their expectations are probably going to be of them. I definitely wanted my family to hear that. If you guys are watching this, you better have paid attention to that because they had some good advice for you guys. Actually, I have no idea, but I hope you're caring about me. So anyways, then I showed them around to the anatomy lab as well. They were pretty odd with that. And then after that, so we had, I think it was the white coat ceremony started at 5 a.m. So we had a little bit of time to hang out with our families or our loved ones. And the moment comes, I think 5:30 p.m. is when it started, somewhere around there. And the feeling, once again, definitely a serene feeling as far as accomplishment goes, that I'm just like, holy crap, like I cannot believe I'm in medical school right now and that I am wearing this white coat. I really want to hit the emotion with this because that white coat ceremony was, I remember it being very emotional, but I'd say the amount of sleep deprivation I have right now is really blocking it. Allow me to think about this. The coolest aspect about that entire white coat ceremony was just being able to see, it sounds silly, but to see everybody in the white coats and to see that, you know, I'm surrounded by individuals that are here for a collective purpose, and that is to bring about healing. And for me personally, you know, this is my value, to just bring about peace and joy in people's lives. To finally, you know, convene at that location and to realize that, you know, the moment is finally here. My opportunity to now, you know, bring that service to people. All of the, you know, the hardships, the challenges that I had to endure, you know, I pass all them with the help of all my mentors who were there before me, all of my friends, loved ones, supporters who were there along the way. That, you know, thanks to their contributions and thanks to my ability to endure, finally got me here. And I honestly just, I couldn't believe it.
Hey, who left this bowl of onions here?
We had a speech from one of the faculty members that just definitely blew me away once again, because I felt like I was really emotional on the stage. You know, right now I'm not, but I absolutely thanked her for the speech that she gave us. That was inspiring, basically saying that, you know, we are here for a reason and we are ready to do this. We were selected for a reason, and that our ability to go ahead and pass all those challenges that we had to do before is what's going to help us out here now, and that the staff is going to back us up every single step of the way, as well as each other, as well as your families and everything like that.
Would you get out of here?
We walk onto the stage, and I'm not gonna lie, my heart's racing a little bit. I'm like, wow, like this is awesome. And you know, everyone's giving their speeches as usual, as you do with, you know, any kind of induction ceremony. Give you the thanks, give the inspiration that needs to be there, and then hot lights are on me, on all of us, and got to be lucky enough to be the first one to walk onto the stage. The feeling of walking on the stage and saying that once I step next to, you know, the dean to receive my white coat for him to put it on, there's no turning back, saying congratulations, you've done it, you made it to medical school, the journey has started, and you do one hell of a job while you're in medical school, because there's a lot of people in the future that are counting on you. Honest to God, that's the thoughts that ran through my head. And then of course my brother said something funny, and that's actually why I'm smiling in the photo. He did something to make me smile. Just seeing every single one of us walk across that stage made me smile. To know that we did it. We're getting into something pretty heavy, something challenging, but we are all going to make it through, and I am damn well going to make sure that I see it through, that not only myself, but the rest of my class gets the help and support and love that they need to go ahead and make it through these 4 years that we're about to endure. Wow. I'm recalling the emotions a little bit, actually. This is good. White coat, that was an awesome day, and for those of you who are interviewing or who are looking to go and experience that day, please take advantage of that day and really just, you know, reflect on all of the accomplishments that you've done. It's a serious thing, man. Getting into medical school is very, very challenging. Just be proud of yourself, of what you're doing and what you're going to be doing for others. After the white coat ceremony was done, took a little bit more pictures, got to eat dinner with my brother and my mom once again, and then my dad kind of came in later the day, so it was good to see them and spend a little time before, you know, my life is, you know, practically taken over by medical school. Yeah, kind of just ended the day on that note and got to go back home, take a couple of pictures with my roommates while we're still smiling and you know, agonizing with all the studies and other things that are going to be going on as well. Later that night, yeah, I went to go ahead, I don't remember if I went out or not, but I probably celebrated in some way because that was just one heck of a good day to experience. And then just the weekend, preparing for the real thing, I just remember going to bed and praying that night that this is the beginning of a journey that honestly I worked so hard for, that little secret that I literally cried about because I was so devastated, you know, when I got rejected from medical schools and being scared to know that I possibly wouldn't be able to pursue a career that I really deeply care about. And to say that although, you know, I may have weaknesses myself, that the purpose of wanting to heal others with the knowledge that I will possess in the next 4 years will keep me going. There definitely was some deep thoughts and reflection on that. And to say, you know, that this new chapter of my life, it's definitely going to take me somewhere. And I have to be willing and humble enough to know that I am going to get the help and support that I need. And that all I got to do is just make sure that I'm the one who engages in taking the step forward to make sure that this reality, this dream that I want comes true.
Hey!
Alright guys, so I know I will just say from my own, you know, for me right now, that definitely wasn't everything that I wanted to overlay as far as the conditions and experiences and what like really were my thoughts in that moment for week 2 were going on. But I had to go ahead and reflect my feelings about MedFIT week 2 because that's my promise to you guys, to make sure I'm recording every single step of the way. I am still eager. I'm still loving medical school even right now with week 6. And yeah, overall, I hope you guys were able to kind of get something out of that. I know that's, you know, the whole purpose of these videos once again is I want to go ahead and outline to you guys who are just curious or have questions about the medical school process in general. And like I said again, I hope this just helped you out in some way. If you have any questions or comments, anything like that, because I know the video may have not been as high of a quality as I want it to be, please shoot them down over in the comment section below. I'm not sure if like YouTube has a direct message or so. Once again, I'm really new to this stuff. You can go ahead and do that as well. I'm here for you guys. Stay tuned for the rest of the uploads of every other week. I will definitely be making that a goal to go and catch up on the studies and get those out to you guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace. Say, guys, my roommate just interrupted me. That's him. Say hello.
Hello. Hi guys. Internet.